So how does that support me and taking Michael and I, our work that we're doing with the Radical You, to bring you in as an outsource for every one of our clients? Because I know right now most of them are going through the dream, vision, purpose, and mission. The next part is going to be the client fulfillment. How do they and when do they get started with organizing all this type of work in a way that's really going to make a difference to them, in order for them to develop what they're developing and as they develop people in their market? Can you share some thoughts about that?
The interesting thing, Eric just asked about hitting those glass walls, and this is a good example of, we have 500 something people, almost 600 people now, but it doesn't feel that way to our clients like you, because you're working with a small team. And so that was one of the adjustments we made. We hit a glass wall because we were building out a huge design department, a huge development department, a huge marketing executive department. And we started to see disconnects to where the client didn't have as good of an experience because there was so much communication and disconnect, and the teams weren't buying into each other, that it started creating a lot of problems. And so we started to kind of go a little bit sideways. So that's when we broke into what we call the mini Madwires, where we took small groups of designers, developers, marketing executives, put them in the same pod, and then allowed them to manage the same customer base. So now they could do real-time communication and collaboration. And so even though you're coming on board now where we have, close to 600 people, you're going to be working really with a company the size of 40, which is what fits into that pod area. And so they're going to get to know your brand and your messaging and what you're looking for there. And they're going to make mistakes, just like if you hired an internal team. They're going to misunderstand what you're looking for. We're going to be on a different page with regards to the branding or whatever, but that feedback is going to allow us to adjust. Just as if you had an internal team, they'll get better and better every week, and then start to be able to see around the corner once they understand your brand and your target customers and those sorts of things, to give you some direction on how you can better grow your brand and build your awareness. And I don't think you would have that kind of an experience if we still had the huge departments of teams, because they just wouldn't be as invested in being a part of your success, But when they're all together on a team, they're all invested in your success. And so what we always say is, like, if the customer's not successful, we're not successful at the end of the day. And unfortunately, we still have a lot of cases that aren't successful. We do our very best, and sometimes, there's so many moving parts with building a successful business that not all of our clients are successful, but we do our best. And so we always say, hey, we don't have guarantees here, because there's no guarantee of how successful you'll be. We can only guarantee you one thing, that nobody will try harder than us. That's our guarantee, right? And we just try to leave it at that. So hopefully that helps. But if you ever have a problem, you can always call or email me. I'll jump in there and try to fix it.